What's going on, everybody? So today we start the engine swap on the Civic. Now I'm going to be doing this in bits and bobs. I've not got my GoPro. I might use it later. So the way I'm going to be doing this, like I say, is in multiple videos. It might go across a couple of days because of personal reasons. So at the minute, like I explained in the video I done with, what's happening with the EJ9 build. I explained about what's going on with my fiance and my mother, and for my personal reasons, I'm going to take my time. Is this a complicated swap? No. Does that make my life easier? Yes. So obviously my goal for, at least my minimum goal for the end of today, is just to have a bare hanging engine. So nothing bolted on but the mounts and the shafts, because today I'm not going to be getting the car up in the air, because obviously to take the shafts out I'm going to have to disconnect the, I might get away with not doing it, but I'm going to have to, I usually have to disconnect the front shocks from the front knuckles to pull them forwards. Obviously once the shafts are out, I'm then going to put the, if I do have to do that, knuckles back on to the shocks and the wheels back on, so that I can keep the car rolling about, because I've not got that much space with what I'm working out at the front at the minute, and I've not got the space to do this in the garage. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make a start. So like I said, I'll be videoing in and out. You'll see different things that's going on. One video, things are going to be attached. The next video, they're not. But I can't do a continuous video at the moment. But the GoPro will most likely come into play when I do the install. Taking it 1.4 out, I'm not too interested. Most people ain't going to be interested in seeing that. So cheers for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoy it. Right, so first thing first, going to disconnect the stock airbox and, well, pretty much anything intake related. I'm going to drain the coolant, remove the hoses. Going to leave as many of the intake hoses in place as possible, hoping they're not going to get caught. Because obviously what I'm going to have to do is, where I'm using a load leveler and I've not got straps, I've got to undo all the intake manifold nuts and pull the intake, hopefully, like I said, without any of them hoses getting stuck. It's not exactly an issue if I have to take them off, but I'd rather if I didn't, just less work. Pull the intake manifold off, yeah, so I've got them studs. I'm going to obviously have to cut this off, because this is absolutely rotten. Loosen all the manifold studs and nuts. Disconnect the master cylinder. Like I said, leave the shafts in place for now. Ideally don't want to get the car up in here. Take the battery out. I'm going to have to remove the power steering pump and move it aside, because not only did one not come in the engine, I'm also going to see if I can save the bleeding job, which, although I know is easy peasy, again, I'm just trying to save work. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and get on with now. And obviously I'm going to try and keep the loom as neat as possible, try and keep everything out of the way. And obviously I'm going to remove all these dirty spiders. So when the engine's out, I'm going to give it a nice jet wash. Make sure everything's nice and clean. Hold on, let me see if I can switch the camera. Can I switch the camera? Yes, I'm more nervous when the camera's outside. I'm not very good. I live next door to a pub and there's a lot of very nosy people, and they like to look at what I'm doing. So my voice gets quieter. So I just thought I'd let you know that quickly in between what I'm doing. So like I said, I'll see you in a bit. So everything I was trying to get disconnected is now disconnected. Intake manifold's off. The harness is just in a big mess at the back of the engine. I've cracked all the nuts on the exhaust manifold. I've just got to do the bolt that holds it onto the block down there, like I suppose the support fucking bolt or whatever it is. I've put the master cylinder up out there, over there, and I've put the power steering pump here, down here, taking the drive shafts out now. So I've got one hub nut off, which was surprisingly easiest down there. But throws a spanner in the works. Turns out I've not got a pot to drain the gearbox oil into. So I might actually have to go out and buy one, because my oil pot, I can't actually find where it's gone, which is very annoying. But yeah, that's the point I'm at now. But other than that, all that's holding it on is the drive shafts and the mounts. That's it. It's ready to come out. So I'll give you guys another update once the engine's out. So I guess it's time for an update. Got the engine out, but it would appear that Mother Nature doesn't want me moving on. There's an empty engine bay. Everything's in a mess. I did ideally want to clean everything up because of the weather. I'm not too sure about what to do at the minute. So obviously I've hit an issue because it's hammering down with rain. well, it just stopped hammering down my rain, now it's drizzling. Obviously I've got the old engine down here, new is here ready, crane is ready, just got to roll it out. I've done the release bearing and attached the mounts to the new gearbox, which is gone from the S40, which is an A000 I think, to the S20 B000, so the shorter ratio D15z6 gearbox. So I'll give you another update soon. Obviously this video is more like a vlog, but I hope you guys are enjoying it. Obviously I'm not going to be using a GoPro because it is really wet out. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon. How's it going, everyone? I've got my missus here helping me now. The engine's in, but now obviously, hold on. Can you see it? There it is. Looks marvellous. But now we've got to get everything plugged in. We're trying to make a tarpaulin tent. I'm going to push the car forwards and then have it over to the doors so they go over so it can work. I've got my trusty Sealy bonnet light down now. So hopefully we'll get everything plumbed in, whether or not we'll get it started. Whoops. Yeah, whether or not we get it started, I guess we'll see what happens. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Hello again. So here we are, under the tarp, but the wind's really picked up and we've just had a little bit of lightning, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be a storm. As you can see, if I come out here, it's very yellow out. So, right mate, hold on. There's the tarp we've made going into the garage. Hold on. Yeah. So I'm going to get underneath now. Oh, pick up these tools. I've still got to crack this driver's side hub nut yet, so. Right, yeah, again. See you guys in a bit. This is what we're dealing with at the minute. Big old tarpaulin. It's like Castaway. How's it going, everybody? So, what have I done so far? I'm not going to lie to you, it has been a day or two because progress got halted because of the weather. But, oh, I'm trying to climb through the garage. There's a lot of tools on the floor. Hold on. Oh, there's a bloody big wasp there. So, what have we done? So, we're topped up on Miller's CFS 10W40 fully synthetic. The gearbox I am running with a 10W30 mineral oil. It's an old S20 B000 as I've said before, so there's a few things I looked at. People said that it was good stuff to use. I'm going to try it. If it feels crap, I'll drain it out. It's not the hardest job in the world. I've just gone out and got myself a jerry can of fuel because it's basically got nothing in it. So I've got a jerry can of fuel. I've got fuel cleaner as well because obviously this engine hasn't been run in a while. Unfortunately, this has sort of come to a halt because the throttle body I'm using from the D14, the throttle plate itself that the cable wraps around is the wrong way round. So when you go to put the cable on, so I had to buy a EJ9 bracket because obviously the cable holder on the EJ9 is like huge. It's like puts the cable right up high. And then even if I now put the cable in there, it doesn't wrap around because the hole for the cable, the little bit of the little cylinder to go into is the wrong way. So when you put it in, there's no tension. So basically the throttle plate I've ordered on the D16, I have to just change the throttle plate, changes it so that little lobe that you usually rev it by goes to the top as opposed to the bottom, which then allows me to wrap the cable around, which then I keep tension on it. So ideally, what I'll be doing is I'm about to put coolant in. I'm going to put the battery in. I've wired up the VTEC and I've put the P28 in, and I should be able to start it with the help of my missus on the key if I hold the throttle open manually, just to see if it does turn over. I've got an inkling that the starter motor might not engage the flywheel, which will mean I'll have to swap it out for the other one I've got, and will also mean I'll have to change out the OBD2B plug I've got to the OBD2A plug I've got on my spare loom from the EK3, which I got the engine from. So yeah, the car's behind me. I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. Hold on, let me just change the cameras. So this is what we've got so far. Everything's nice and shiny, everything's sitting where it should be, everything's plugged in, everything's plumbed in. So like I say, it's just coolant. I'm going to run that through. Obviously I won't be able to bleed it until that throttle plate comes on, because I won't be able to keep the ignition on long enough. And then yeah, hopefully I will video the start up so you guys can see if it works or not. So fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Alright, so I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Obviously after the first start, I'm now bleeding it up. I'm going to bleed the car first, and then I'll do the ignition time, and I've got my light just round there. So she sounds alright, she's not knocking, I mean, other than the obvious ever so slight tap. She leaked all her coolant because it turned out that the hoses going to the IECV down there was shot. I'm actually waiting on an idle air control valve. I'm not running one at all at the minute. So the car's like this stall when it gets properly up to temperature. Because I'm running a 3-wire on a P28. I didn't even realise, so we'll have to see what happens. But that was a quick update for you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. So, issue with the ignition timing. Didn't realise, because the idle air control valve's obviously not working whatsoever. The engine's revving at about 1,500 RPM, which makes timing it impossible. So obviously I'm going to have to order a 2-wire idle air control valve and the plug, repin the ECU for it, and then I'll have to time the car, because at the minute it's barely advanced. It's quite advanced. It's advanced probably by about, I'd say about 15 degrees off of what it should be, which is quite a lot. So just thought I'd let you guys know.